A Google Knowledge Panel, those colored boxes that show up when you Google someone's name or their company, is not for celebrities. It's for plumbers and landscapers and other contractors and other local people. And today I'm going to show you what a perfect knowledge panel is. A lot of you guys are using AI tools thinking that it's about SEO, when really a knowledge panel is about the structuring of the specific stories, experiences, people, and facts associated with you as an entity. I'm Coach U, and we, in our Thursday Marketing Mechanic episodes, cover one topic every week, and I want to see you be able to take control of your marketing. So let's begin. When you look at a knowledge panel, at the very top, you see a series of boxes. Usually these are photos and pictures that are pulled from your website, from YouTube, from podcasts, from other sorts of places. And you absolutely can control these when you have control of the knowledge panel once you've claimed it and gotten verified with Google. And these items are ones that you can switch around. Maybe there's an older picture of you. Maybe you want to show this other one of you speaking or at a podcast or with someone else. But these are items that Google is deciding this is who this person is. And if there's someone else with the same name, that's fine. You just have to be able to claim the knowledge panel for you. Maybe your name is John Smith and that's a common name. You can still have multiple knowledge panels. That's probably the most common question that we get. A knowledge panel is when you own the entire set of search results. So if it's in desktop, you're going to see these pictures here, and on the right side, you're going to see a whole bio. And that bio will come from a certain source. And the source can be Wikipedia, it can be your website, it can be wherever Google says that the most authoritative signal is coming from. And you ideally want to have this be your personal brand website, not your company website, because that's another entity. So the first real web result under here, you want to have be your personal brand website. And that is the anchor that ties together all the different items about you. So it could be these particular photos and videos. Here you're going to have up to 4 social entities. So usually it's going to be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. It could be TikTok, could be YouTube. But you want to show at least 4. Some of you guys, when you've gotten your knowledge panel claimed, there'll be just an Instagram here. But then we'll say, well, you should make a YouTube for your personal brand. Maybe you already have a YouTube channel for your company, but have one for your personal brand. And go ahead and claim your TikTok, claim your Twitter, which is called X, claim all these other ones so we can tie all of those together to make them as strong as possible. So in an ideal scenario, your personal brand website is the first because that is the hub of your entity. The entity is you as a person, and so the hub of it that ties all of it together should be the thing that you control, the personal brand website, not your Wikipedia. If you even have one, a lot of people are like, oh, I need to have a Wikipedia, or I need to be featured on Forbes or whatever. Not true. We can see through that PR. Google can see through paid PR. So beyond that personal brand website, you want to have your company website be number 2. And if you do this properly with your company website, you're going to have the company, from the homepage of the company, a link to the About, and the About should go to mentioning you, and then another page about you. If you've got multiple team members, so if you're Anthony's Lawn Care, you've got people that are general managers in each of the different cities operating a location. Those can be team members in the About. But let's make sure there's a page about you. So company website to the About page, to the page that's about you, that links back to the company website to be able to reinforce the story showing that this is who you are. Then below that, you want to have your third-party citations. And when we say citation, we don't mean listings. Like a lot of people say, your citations are when you go claim yourself in all the directories. Like if you're a roofer, there's a lot of roofing directories, there are conferences, there's places where you can pay, like the Better Business Bureau or Rotary memberships, but that's not what we mean citations. With these citations, these are third-party folks. So it could be the local newspaper, it could be the Chamber of Commerce, it could be a conference you've spoken at, it could be a podcast you've been on, it could be a collaboration that you've done with a friend who's an electrician, or maybe someone who is well known in the trades, maybe not even in the same trade. Maybe you're an HVAC guy and you're talking to a real estate agent who you guys work together, right? So when you have a bunch of these third-party citations, and then those citations link back to your personal brand website, and then link back to your various socials for that personal brand entity, all of those are sending signals that go back and say, this is Dan Antonelli. And this is actually what we did for Dan Antonelli. Or Tommy Mello is involved, he's got his Tommy Mello Ventures, he's got A1 Garage, he's got his Home Service Freedom Conference. Those are all great. But remember, those are separate entities. And then Tommy as a person is an entity. You are an entity, right? An object, a noun. That's what an entity is. And there are all of these signals that tie together. Now, let's look at a super common mistake that we see with home service companies. So when we go to your website and we look at the location service pages, often there's going to be, say, some images of some guy, like a plumber, a stock art picture of a plumber with the smiling wife and everyone's happy. But when you use stock art, even AI-generated imagery, and some people say, but I'm using AI to generate unique images, so it's not stock art. Well, it's still lacking that EEAT, the experience. That's the key thing we're looking for, real experience, expertise, which is you actually doing it, not AI-generated 10 ways to save money on your heating bill, right? But real expertise, real experience, real authority that comes from you actually having proof in doing this thing that you say that you do, and other people are referencing that. So whoever the most authoritative, if you're a plumber, maybe you're friends with Roger Wakefield and you've been on his podcast because he's America's plumber. You're a dentist, you have things published in Dental Magazine. You are friends with Glenn Vo, who has got 40,000 dentists that follow him, right? And then trust. This comes from the signals of reviews and maybe a Better Business profile that's 5 stars, other things that show that you are reputable. And then these signals, let's say that there's pictures or reviews or whatever of you doing your work, of customers saying that they're happy. When this gets circulated back to multiple places. So you could use it on your website. You could use it on your personal brand website. You could repurpose that into articles. That's not duplicate content. A lot of these SEO experts are afraid of duplicate content, and they don't understand the difference between that and actually reinforcing collaborative loops of trust, right? So what ChatGPT is looking for is corroborating loops of trust, so that when other people in other places are saying, when someone asks, I'm in Easton, Pennsylvania, who should I go to for a broken water heater? Well, you should talk to Sal Sciorda of Plumbing Pros. And how does ChatGPT determine that? Well, they're going to see that you have a company website and there's things that you say about yourself. But what's more powerful than what you have to say about yourself are all these third-party citations. When we take these third-party citations and then we sprinkle them into the location service pages and then sprinkle them back into the personal brand website, we're creating these loops of trust. So it looks like a lot of sources are saying, yeah, Sal is the best plumber. Sal's team is the best. Sal's dad, who was a plumber for New York City, that he learned from, like, that's also authoritative. There are all these signals that corroborate. So it's not just keyword jamming, which is what, in fact, don't even do that. That's what used to work and still kind of works in certain non-competitive markets. But the same sort of underlying proof here, experience, expertise, authority, trust, which is what Google calls EEAT. Google used to call it EAT. They added the extra E because they knew that AI was going to come in and people are going to use AI, automated blog posts to do all this kind of stuff. I have a friend who I won't name who's was paying $6,500 a month for AI-generated content on the website. And these guys are claiming we've got all these PhDs and we're the best in AI. And all you do is you pay our $6,500 every month and you're going to rank in local. You're going to rank in, insert the name of the home services term you want to rank on, emergency, plumber, city name. But that's not what you want. You want to show real experience. If we're not able to take those real experiences that come off of your phone, that are in your company cam or in your service titan or harvesting off of your Google business profile or where people are leaving reviews, if this real experience is not being pushed into these other channels, then you're sending a confusing signal. So it's not SEO. A lot of people say, oh, I need to get SEO so I can rank and be the plumber in Easton, Pennsylvania. Well, if this is the one for Sal Sciorta, who I think we just got his knowledge panel, but still working on beefing it up and making it stronger. So it's not enough just to get a knowledge panel. You want to increase the confidence score on that. Then you want to have it say, Sal Sciorta, here's all the stuff with him. There's a lot more third-party sources than what you have to say about yourself, which Google also cares about, just like ChatGPT. And then this should say plumber in Easton, because you can say what you are. If you look me up, it might say entrepreneur. If you look up, a company, it might say here's the kind of company and they do this kind of thing. So this ranking on plumber, being shown in the knowledge panel as a plumber in Easton, Pennsylvania is not an SEO thing. It's about, is there underlying EEAT proof that this is legitimately a great plumber? There's other ways to do that too. So we have sites that are for plumbing. We have a site also for free ebooks that has 500,000 visits a day. So we have freeebooks.net. And so if we publish a book on here's the 5 best plumbers in Pennsylvania, right? And we reference Sal as one of them, that sends another third-party signal of authority and trust, right? And what you'll hear other people who actually know what they're talking about when it comes to AI, talking about these collaborative signals that are from third-party sources that are relevant, not just some random other website that someone paid to be able to post an article on or some PR paid distribution, then this is a signal that Google can see and ChatGPT can see. Now, how do you wreck that? And a lot of people, they don't realize that even if they have some of these signals, they can often wreck it. And what they do, I'm going to draw this garbage can. This is a garbage can. Let's pretend this is a garbage can, right? Is what they do is they auto-generate this personal brand website and they put lots of these fake articles that don't have any EEAT. They create a bunch of fake links. They create a bunch of these fake pages. The ones where it's all the same thing, like, HVAC city name, and then they have 100 of just changing the city name and saying, are you looking for the best HVAC technician in city name or HVAC repair or all that kind of stuff, auto-generated articles, what to do when it's 110 degrees outside, right? When we see that kind of stuff, when Google sees it, when ChatGPT sees all this auto-generated content, it creates confusion. So it's not that we're trying to do SEO. It's that we're trying to literally showcase our real proof and experiences, and there's nothing better than actually starting with the real signals off of your phone and all that, and then pushing it through here. I bet you already have this. A lot of folks are saying, hey, what's that schema plugin that you guys use on WordPress to be able to structure the location entity and the company entity and other information like your name, address, phone, and all that? Like, yeah, we have Rank Math Pro, and we have a couple other things like Link Whisper, we can make another video about that if you want to see how it works inside WordPress. But it's not about the technical components of schema, even though schema helps with getting a knowledge panel. It's about, do you have these underlying items? It's not a technical issue. It's do you have the raw proof, and then can it be structured appropriately so it's very clear this is supporting a person as well as supporting a company. You probably don't have a knowledge panel simply because Google is confused about who is you as a person, as the owner, versus who is the company. Crazy, right? Literally like creating a personal brand website that's separate from the company website, having the company's about be the about of the company, not about you, is probably one of the easiest ways, provided you have enough reviews and these other sorts of components. You do a few podcasts, that kind of thing. It's not that you have to be a celebrity or whatnot. That's probably enough to get a Google Knowledge Panel, which also helps you ranking in the local search queries that you want to rank on, which also helps you become recommended. Just yesterday, my friend Ben told me, hey, your techniques are working. A ton of our concrete coating companies and painting companies are getting more phone calls and recommendations when people are talking to ChatGPT. These homeowners are doing this, and yeah, it's because this stuff here is working. We did a podcast with Chuck Thoke 2 days ago, which should release any day now, maybe by the time you're seeing this, on how does it work for roofers, for example. It's the same thing. So anyone in home services, you're going to need these same fundamental components. And isn't it crazy to think like you could be a $5 million a year roofing business, but because the stuff you already have, which already lives on your own personal social media, but it hasn't been repurposed to other channels, meaning you literally take it and copy it to Instagram and Twitter. You can set up AI agents to do that automatically, like detect when you post it on Facebook, detect when you post on Instagram, and then turn this into Google Business Profile posts, turn those into posts that live on your personal brand website. We've created agents that you can use in ChatGPT. You can just use that. You can Google it, and you'll see there's a list of the agents that we've created. You can take the Canvas documents, which are the instructions that we train the agents with. You can take those ones that we've created, download them for free, and just train up your agents inside your ChatGPT business account, which is across multiple people instead of a personal account. But all of this stuff that we're teaching, all these structural components, it just pains me when I see so many of you guys that are paying lots of money for these other experts and gurus that claim that they have some new framework or some new shortcut. It's the same stuff that people have been teaching about or trying to claim there's a shortcut with social media, with SEO. Now there's an AEO or GEO. They call it answer engine optimization or generative engine optimization or whatever. I call it EIEIO because they also, the farmer, and on this farm he had a scam. So I just want you to see that a perfect Google Knowledge Panel is nothing more than taking the raw ingredients down here and then pushing them up so that Google can see who you are. We have our first episode of The Marketing Mechanic where I go through what is an entity and how all of these items fit back into you as the entity. Your website is not what Google optimizes to. It optimizes to the entity. And when you understand entities, when you understand the information associated with the entities, when you understand the different objects that point back to the entity has an entity home, kind of like the hub of this, which is the website that ties back to these other components that tie to other entities. That's how Google and ChatGPT see what neighborhood you're a part of. So if you want to be known as a custom pool builder in Miami and you're Nilson Silva, then there's a lot of proof of custom pools that he's built. A lot of walk and talks, a lot of on-the-job, quick little 15-second videos, quick little, hey, here's the examples of work that like Dan Antonelli, he does that on Facebook. He's constantly posting of the 3,000 some home service companies that he's helped rebrand, and then the stories of how they grew their business because of how branding helps. Those are being repurposed to his website by our team and repurposed to his YouTube and repurposed to like other content that's already been there. So who are the other people that you are, who inspire you? Who are the other people that you've learned from? Who are customers and team members that you're proud of? You should be listing them. You should be honoring them. You should be integrating and tying and structuring these items together. Do that. It's not something you pay some insider at Google to get yourself a knowledge panel. There's no human that controls the knowledge panels. The system is controlling it. And the good news is this whole process is free. You can do it yourself. You can have one of our team members do it. And the cost that Google charges is zero. When you fill out if you have these other items here and you use our tool we built the tool, the knowledge panel lookup tool. You can literally Google Dennis Yu knowledge panel tool. You can see if you have a knowledge panel. You can see what the other knowledge panels are. You can see what your confidence score is. Ideally, you want to get it up to 100, 200 plus and then be able to claim it. You can see if all the items within that knowledge panel are you, so you can claim it. If you try to claim one that has other things in it, you'll probably get rejected, right? These are all common issues that we see. Then you do all of these things, consume all the content we have here in this Marketing Mechanic YouTube, like, share, and subscribe if you found this helpful. Any of these other aspects, we already have deeper videos on, a deeper video on personal branding and how Google will recognize who you are ahead of other people with the same name, how to get the company website to rank, and what is the ideal structure, especially for these guys that are charging $10,000 for a website. What are they doing? We have an episode in the Marketing Mechanic on that. As a former search engine engineer of over 20 some years ago, believe it or not, I trained a lot of engineers who then went on to Google. I see the same structural components are always true. This AI stuff is really just another integration assimilation layer. A lot of people are saying, well, Google is dead and everyone's going to ChatGPT. Guess what? ChatGPT is pulling from the same underlying data sources. It's pulling from Bing. Bing's a search engine. Bing and Google both compete, right? So the game hasn't changed. There's just different words. There's just different ways of showing the data. There's just like, in the same way there's more social networks, but the social networks pull from the same raw experience. The same is true with AI. It's just another search engine. Love to hear what do you guys think, and we'll see you in the next episode.